this video, we are going to see what are the technical terms that are most usually used. So let's start. So the topics that we are going to cover here, first is management group, which is one of the most important topic of the Azure. The second one is the subscriptions. The third one is the resource group, and the fourth one is the resource says. So these are the four important topics that one must go for hands on. So let's go to the next slide. So this is the hierarchy that looks like for the Azure management groups and subscriptions and the resource groups. We will cover this topic at this slide in the last. So now move to the next slide. So first one is a management group. So what is management group? That is in the top of the hierarchy. So management group is the easiest way to manage subscriptions. Suppose there is a one organization which name is A. So the one organization can have multiple subscriptions. Let's assume for now what is the subscription. We can see in the next slide. Okay, this is a subscription 1, this is a subscription 2, and this is a subscription 3. So if an organization has multiple subscriptions, then what management group helps to manage the subscription efficiently. How management group is going to help to manage this subscription efficiently? So we will see. Management group can help you to manage access policy and compliance for multiple subscriptions. So suppose these subscriptions have some policies assigned to it, and this subscription has some different policies assigned to it, and this subscription has some different policies assigned to it. So management group is going to manage this all subscriptions and accordingly as per the policy set for its subscriptions. So this is all about the management group. Now coming to the next, which is subscriptions. So what is subscriptions? Hearing the term subscription, what comes to our mind? Subscription is just a service that we get by paying in advance. So we have to pay some amount in advance to get some service. So an Azure subscription is logical unit of Azure service that linked to an Azure account. So the subscription that you are having in your account is directly linked with your Azure Active Directory. So what is Active Directory? We will see in the upcoming videos. So as of now, just we can keep in mind that first there is a one management groups that handles subscriptions, and this subscriptions is directly linked with your Azure Active Directory. As of now, we just remember these points. And now coming to the next points. So an account can have one subscriptions or multiple subscriptions that have a different billing models. So each subscription have its own different billing models that cannot be synced or cannot be similar to as one to the other. So coming to the next point. So organization can use subscription to manage costs, resources, data created by the user, terms or projects. So subscriptions can be used to manage cost or the resources data created by the user's mails. That in this subscriptions, no users can create virtual machines, and suppose in this subscription the user can create a virtual machines. So we can manage this access levels to minimize the cost or to allow or deny to the user to create resources. So coming to the next point, which is for each subscriptions there are limits of quotas or the amount of resources that a user can create. Suppose let's say we have an organization A. In the organization A, we have a one management group with name A-. And in this management group, we have two subscriptions. Subscription 1 and subscription 2. In the subscription 1, it is defined that user can create only 2 virtual machines. And in this subscription 2, it is clearly mentioned that no user can create any of the virtual machines. So how this subscription helps to manage limit or quotas. So in this subscription, at least all the policy has been said that the user can create only 2 virtual machines. So the user cannot create 3, 4 or more than 2 virtual machines in the subscriptions 1 as it is defined in the subscriptions in the 1, and the subscription should no user can create any of the virtual machines. So this is going to help to manage the cost or limit the quotas or amount of resources that user can create in his subscriptions levels. Now coming to the next slide, which is resource group. So by hearing the term resource group, what comes to our mind? So first of all, the resource group icon is look like this. So a resource group is basically a container, logical container for the resources that deployed on Azure. Let me explain you with one simple example. Suppose you have gone to the market. This is the market, and the market you are buying some vegetables. Suppose this is a vegetable 1, this is a vegetable 2, and this is a vegetable 3. Let's name them with V1, V2, and V3. Okay, you have purchased all the vegetables in a one shot. Now you need to bring this vegetable to your home. Then how should you bring that? You should must carry or ask for a one bag. Okay, in this bag you will put all the vegetables here, right? And you can carry this bag. So the resource group is similar to like that. We can call this bag as RG, which is resource group. So resource group is basically a logical container. It's a container which stores all the resources which are created in your subscriptions. So these resources are anything you create in Azure subscriptions like virtual machines, Azure application gateway instances, or Azure Cosmos DB is a service. So these are the logical containers which contains all the resources which you created in your subscriptions. All resources must be in a resource group. So if you create any resource, so this resource must be in a resource group, and a resource group can only be a member of any single resource group. So suppose you created one resource which is name is VM1, and you have two resource group. Let's name them RG1 and RG2. RG1 and RG2, right? Here what this line means that and a resource can only be a member of a single resource group. Now you have a one resource which is named VM1. Now this resource can be a part of this resource group or can be a part of this resource group, but cannot be a part of both resource group. So this line means that it can be a part of either this resource group or it can be a part of either this resource group. Now coming to the next point, next slide, which is resources. So what are resources? So this is a symbol of resources in Azure. So resources are just instances of service that you create, like virtual machines, storage, SQL databases, etc. This may be anything that you create on Azure. Virtual machines, storage, accounts, web apps, database, virtual networks are an example of resources, right? Resources are created in regions which are different geographical locations around the globe, container, and Azure data centers. So we will talk about more in more detailed way. What is geographical locations, what are regions, what are Azure data centers. So for now we can have a brief overview of what are resources only. So what are resources? So resources I already mentioned, that is like virtual machines that we create in Azure portal. Like this is resources one, which is Azure Cognitive Services. This is security group. This is Cosmos DB. This is web app. This is SQL server. Like that, we have so many of resources in the Azure, which is 200 plus services. Now coming to the next slide, which is recall the hierarchy that we have seen in the slide number 3. If you can recall, then this is good. If you can't recall, then we can go once to that slide. So this is the management group. As already discussed, this management group is used to efficiently manage all your subscriptions in an efficiently way. So this is subscription 1, subscription 2, and subscription 3. Suppose there is a company, its name is A. A is having 3 subscriptions. So maybe subscription 1 is for, let's say, HR department. Subscription 2 is for development department, where developers can develop their applications and manage the infrastructure. And the third one is for network team, network or database team, which is used to maintain a database or maintain the network. So the subscription 1, so we can manage or provide the policy or can create the policy that this subscription cannot create more than 2 resource group, and in each resource, and suppose say in resource group 1, it cannot create more than 2 virtual machines or 2 SQL servers, anything as per the demand or as per the company organization policy, we can say. So this is the hierarchy that follows in Azure. So first will be a management group, second will be a subscriptions, third will be a resource group, which is a logical container of resources, and the fourth one will be a resources. So this is a resource 1, this is resource 2, this is resource 3. So this is how hierarchy looks like. Now coming to the next slide. What's next? As we already discussed, admin group, we discussed subscriptions, we discussed resource group, and we discussed resources. Correct? Now, what's next? So we will see some practical on management groups, subscriptions, resource group, and resources. So we will see how to create resources. We will see how to create resource group. What is subscription already discussed, and how to create the subscriptions. And fourth one is the management group. So these are the practical or hands-on which I am going to create. Okay. What's next? So in the next video, we are going to see what is data center, what is availability zone, what is reason pair, and we will see the most important, how the data center look like, how the availability zones looks like, and how the reason look like, and what is reason pair in the live in a virtual mode. So stay tuned for that. I can guarantee you will enjoy the live tour of all these topics. Visualize that how in the real world, how the data center looks like, how the availability zone looks like. It will be enjoyable journey, and I hope you like these topics. And if you have any questions or doubt, so comment in the comment section, or you can also mail your questions, or you need any guidance, so in the mail ID provided in the description box. So stay tuned for that for the upcoming videos. I hope you like this content. So like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.